And we are getting started now finally. It's going to be Small Mammoth and Macheeeete already giving themselves the advantage.
Yeah, Brawlhalla is always a funny map because of just how small it is and how easy it is to get stocks on that. But you can see Pavelski, no stranger to the J-Yun, one of his signature picks here, and the Greatsword definitely a top performer. But Macheeeete also on this Ogre. I mean, this is just like I said, this is not a match that you would expect to see in the loser side of top 8. But someone's got to go, and then someone's got to go home.
Absolutely. Pavelski now on that Greatsword, going for sidelights left and right. Macheeeete struggling a little bit to find their all openings off of that, though, playing very well so far. Trying to utilize their axe dares to get around those Greatsword openers. Pavelski now on the sword. Pavelski, one of the most clean swords in EU, and there it is, the Sig off the side. Macheeeete is the one that's going to be losing their stock first, and it looks like Pavelski is clinging onto this Greatsword pretty hard so far.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you got Pavelski definitely doing things on the J-Yun as he's known to do. And you see there on that Greatsword, definitely don't want to miss out on those beginning parts of those strings because it makes your life a lot harder. But Macheeeete is going to go, gets the stock on to Pavelski, but the damage right there is going to be pretty interesting to see how he's going to be able to deal with that.
Absolutely, especially with Pavelski now on that sword, we could be seeing, you know, with a single beautiful offstage play that could be the KO soon. Macheeeete, though, on that lance, if they manage to find themselves a couple of reaps, that could be very, very scary as well. Macheeeete all the way down in red now, looking for those Sers. Pavelski trying to go for the punish, not able to find anything. Very good ground control coming out from Pavelski so far. Managed to find a very good KO, and they are maintaining this lead so far.
Yeah, they're definitely doing a good job of keeping Macheeeete at bay here. And, you know, this is something that we kind of expect from Pavelski, one of the top players in the region. But, you know, Macheeeete is also very good in his own right. He's not that far behind in terms of the PR. But you look at the Greatsword combos. That is a string.
Oh my god.
That is a beautiful string right there. But he is going to be able to come back.
Oh
but
my god!
He's going to be able to turn it around. He's not going to find the dare unarmed. But that is a very, very good string coming in from Pavelski.
Absolutely built themselves up a very good lead so far. Going for the double ground pound as well. Macheeeete trying to use that weapon throw to grab that KO as soon as possible. Still sticking to that lance to get that final KO. There it is, the Lancer potentially sticking to that lance now to try and push this as far as possible, potentially give themselves that win. But Pavelski is on the sword. I say it every single time there's a sword on the screen. Those downlight combos are gonna be taking you down early and easy. And there it is, a D-light Sarah up the right side. Pavelski is winning that first game, but Macheeeete was looking strong for a good while. Not all the way there, actually quite a good distance from all the way there, but Macheeeete has such an insanely wide roster that I bet that if they switch Legend, that's going to be an even closer game. And Macheeeete is actually hovering over the Legend switch. We could be seeing a swap happening.
Yeah, I mean, we see right now, I'm looking at Pavelski, you know, he's got that Mordex there, but I wonder what Macheeeete will pick. It looks like he's going to stick with the Ogrim, so the Mordex versus the Ogrim. Now, this is a very interesting matchup here. I think that there's a lot of, you know, aerial gameplay that might be going on here on the side of the Mordex, and there's not a whole lot that Ogrim can do to kind of answer that just because of how his weapons play into that. But I mean, this is Macheeete's Ogrim, so definitely able to do a lot more than your average Ogrim player. So we're going to see how this game 2 looks, but so far, game 1 Pavelski.
Absolutely, those axe downlights could be adding up damage incredibly quickly, especially considering how insanely clean Macheeete's axe is. But Pavelski is already starting off quite strong, using a lot of confidence in here. Like, even that, I mean, look at that! Pavelski is just going crazy so far. Takes a weapon throw to the base, not going to be able to find the KO, and actually still in the damage deficit, but that's a strong start so far. Macheeeete now looking for that KO. Could be getting it very quite soon though. Managed to get that Sig punish. Pavelski adding up their damage as well. We could be seeing a KO come out, and there it is with the Scythe and Sig. Pavelski managed to get themselves the first lead.
Yeah, doing a very good job of getting the punishes down, and this is exactly what I was talking about with this aerial gameplay. You even saw like Pavelski was carrying Macheeete off of the screen there, but you know, he is gonna find the Sarah and will take down Pavelski. So now it's 2 stocks all, but again, now it kind of comes down to that damage build-up, because Pavelski has to be able to hit these attacks, hit these strings, to be able to match the damage that Macheeete is able to put out between the lance and the axe. And so if Pavelski is not hitting Macheeete, that's going to be very bad. And you can see right there, you know, already going in there with the lance, and now he's got the axe. And so now it seems like the control has kind of shifted over to Macheeete getting the lead.
Oh my god.
But Pavelski's like, no, I was just kidding. And now we're going to see how this plays out, but the damage is very even. But I don't know if he has a way back to the stage. Gets dared on the ledge, and that is going to be it. Macheeete is now on his last stock here. Beautiful play from Pavelski.
Beautiful play indeed, and the type of plays that we've come to expect from Pavelski, being very, very skilled on that offstage. It's up to Macheeete now to try and find this KO as soon as possible. You can see that Macheeete has been going a lot more for that calm playstyle, trying to not use too many options, not going for anything too crazy. It's been paying off not too much so far, but looks like they're going to be sticking with it. And there it is. They managed to grab themselves that KO. Potentially also now sticking to that lance. This is still indeed very, very possible for Macheeete.
Yeah, and I mean, but you see like the damage buildup, and sometimes Pavelski actually has to work quite a bit harder to get that damage output than Macheeete does, and that's purely down to the weapon selection that both of these guys have opted to go into. I mean, like you see, I think that Pavelski and Macheeete have been working each other fairly similarly, but the damage buildup for Pavelski is a lot more lethal. And now Macheete's got stage control, he's got everything available to him, gets the end light. Will he be able to finish it off? We'll see what happens. Macheete's cautiously going off stage there. But Pavelski is about to suffer from wall slip, and he is going to get the punish.
Dude.
A beautiful ending from Macheeete to go 1-1 going into this game of 3.
That was so insanely clean. I did not see, like, from the second half of that last stock coming out from Macheeete, I couldn't see a single mistake on that axe, and especially not on the lance either, getting themselves that quick KO. Very, very strong performance from Macheeete. If they're able to maintain this type of performance, it's looking very, very promising for them. But then again, it is Pavelski we're talking about, and we do see a legend swap. And this is the legend pick that Macheeete was struggling to fight earlier. So we're going to have to see how this one is going to turn out. I think there's great potential for Pavelski to be able to bounce back from it.
Yeah, and it just comes down to that damage potential, and you know, we know Pavelski is very, very comfortable on that greatsword, very comfortable on that Jaehyun pick, and you can see right there how comfortable he is and able to show it off right there.
Lord.
Pavelski trying to find it, but he's not going to get the stock, but he is going to get the side air just on the tipper, and that's going to be a beautiful optimization. First strike goes over to Pavelski, and it seems like he's back in his element.
Jesus Christ, and that's such a big lead to Macheeete. He's gonna have to work very, very hard to be able to bring that one all the way back, especially against a greatsword. Because when you're doing grounded neutral game against that greatsword, they can add up an insane amount of damage very, very quickly. Macheeete, though, on the lance, got a good couple of aerial options that they can come in and approach with. Doing well so far, struggling to find that KO, gonna be swapping over to the axe to find it instead. Also, one thing that is noteworthy is that I haven't really been seeing Macheeete use too many SIGs. I know Macheeete for having a playstyle of having a little bit more SIGs than this, but it looks like that's not too much of what we're seeing right now. Maybe that's something they're doing specifically against Pavelski.
Yeah, but at the same time, I mean, I think with the SIGs, and you know, you see there, I mean, you take him down with the weapon throw. But I think with the SIGs on Olgrim, they're a bit slow, and if you don't hit them, it really, really leaves you open.
Absolutely.
And in some cases, it's just easier to just go for those light attacks and try to weave in those signatures when you know that you can hit them. Because the damage output is going to be pretty good either way, but it's just faster, I think a little bit more consistent going for those light attacks rather than, you know, using the signatures. Because it really does leave you open. Against something like a sword, and especially great sword, that is the last thing you want to have happen.
Absolutely, and I think that's the kind of consistency that Macheeete has been going for so far, getting this all the way down to an even situation. But as we mentioned, with Pavelski having a great sword in hand, they're going to be able to find a lot of damage very quickly. There it is, the sword there, offstage, switching over to the other side. Pavelski is so ready for it, going for that signature attack. Macheeete managing to find a punish. I smell a GCD light. I know Pavelski wants to do it. I know Pavelski wants to do it, man. Not that time, though. They're going to be going for the onstage KO instead. Oh, now Macheeete also has the weapon advantage. Try to predict Pavelski's movement there to find an opening to take them down, but Pavelski will be getting the weapon and eventually the off stage as well. And that's Pavelski managing to find the KO first, still maintaining this lead. But as we saw earlier, Macheeete is able to pull back leads pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, it's not about, again, it's not about how you start the race, it is how you finish it. But Pavelski is leaving no doubt in anyone's mind that, you know, he right now is in the driver's seat. If only slightly, you know, Macheeete is doing a very good job of keeping this game very, very close. I mean, you saw even in the last game how optimal and how accurate his shots were. I mean, again, this is his Ogrim. I mean, he knows this guy inside and out. And so he's doing a very good job of staying elusive, staying alive, and really allowing himself to have the room to be able to think about what he wants to do next, how he wants to punish Pavelski. And now you can see that he's got the stage control, and Macheeete is going to try and go for the weapon throw. But he's just being very patient, biding his time, and that's respectable. So honestly, honor to Macheeete for that.
Absolutely. Pavelski being a little bit better at that game so far. Still in a little bit of a lead. Macheeete finally managing to find that KO. Going to be sticking to that lance. I feel like I've been taught. Oh, gonna be switching for the axe instead, actually. The thing is, right, Macheete's axe has been looking super clean so far. And all it takes to be able to do really, really well on axe is if you manage to enter flow state for like 10 seconds, that could be enough to get a man from white to red. So, I mean, still very, very doable for Macheeete. But Pavelski is looking so incredibly strong, and there it is with a beautiful offstage. Jesus, that was fast! What happened? I can barely tell.
Yeah, I mean, that was pretty good from Pavelski. He noticed that, you know, Macheeete did not have any tools to get back to the stage, so he realized that was his opportunity to basically put the finishing touches on that stock. And you see there, that is why, you know, Pavelski is where he is at in this game right here. You know, and you say that, you know, you just kind of need to get in that state, right? And that is true, but off stage, if you don't have any way to get back, it doesn't matter what kind of state you're in. I mean, it's going to be very hard for you to be able to come back there. So beautiful job from Pavelski. And now he's one more game and he's in top 8.
Absolutely. We're seeing a very interesting legend swap now as well. Macheeete whipping out the Sir Roland, which is a pick that we've been seeing them run a lot in 2v2 as well. So this could be potentially the kind of switch up that they need to be able to win this set, or even just, you know, let's start small to even just win the first game. But Pavelski has been looking so strong. Pavelski is moving in here with the confidence. You can see it in the way they're punishing, in the way they're approaching, and all of the ways they've been confirming their KOs. Macheeete is going to have to work hard to bring this one all the way back and potentially get themselves the set win.
Yeah, that is true, but at the same time, I mean, you're looking at, you know, potentially, you know, 2 games, right? And these games I feel like have been relatively close, and so, you know, Macheeete is not in a position where it's like a, you know, this is a must-have situation. You can see there, you know, the stock coming in there, first strike going over to Macheeete, and this is kind of how this match has been going the entire time. This lance is just very, very potent. It is interesting that he did opt to go for the sword with King Knight rather than the old one there. But you can see Macheeete, maybe that is exactly what he needed. Maybe he needed that speed to be able to make certain things happen that wouldn't be possible. And Pavelski goes in with the side stick, but it's not going to connect.
Macheete's sword is looking solid, dude. I bet they're going to be clinging onto that for a vast majority for this game, now opting for that lance instead to try and find eventually that KO, just trying to whip all of those nairs out that Macheeete has been able to utilize so incredibly well. Maybe another one coming in here. No, it's going to be a Sarah instead, going for the KO on the sword, but a beautifully timed great sword there coming out from Pavelski. Jesus Christ, those reaction times were fast.
Yeah, but look at that damage. He's got a lot that he has to answer for. And, you know, Pavelski was definitely going for those signatures there, trying to make something happen very quickly, getting a little impatient. Now Macheeete is back on that list, but this is I think one of the greater things about Sword is you have more options. You know they have options that cover more area. But Pavelski is going off on this great sword right now onto Macheeete, and it's gonna be, look at that damage. I mean, like we said, it was fairly uneven before, but it's even now. This is a win for Pavelski, I think, trying to get that damage down. Macheeete is gonna try to finish off this stock as fast as possible, and he is gonna do it. Sarah comes in, and that is now last stock for Pavelski. And I think Macheeete, this pick, this switch here, might have been doing him a favor.
Absolutely, and one of the things that has been doing Macheeete very well as well is their management of those tempo switch ups. We saw it very early in the game. Macheeete is not only known for their more patient playstyle, but they've also been whipping it out for this entire set so far, and then all of a sudden just decides to go absolutely crazy on the sword. Obviously, no one was going to expect that. Macheeete, that's a strategy that they've been using a lot there. You see it again in multiple hits coming out in a row. Macheeete is starting to look very confident. Pavelski might be struggling a little bit to find this KO. They're on the great sword, so to immediately get a finisher, they're gonna have to GC their attacks now. You're gonna have potentially a difficult, it's going to be quite difficult to find that KO eventually. Macheeete has got Pavelski all the way down to red so far, and there it is. We're in a 2-2. Macheeete manages to bring it back, and we're moving to game 5, Abstract.
Yeah, that is, I mean, I can see what he was going for there, and I think Pavelski really thought that he was in the range there to really get the stock, but that's the problem with that. You have to be able to respect that, and that is precisely why you don't see a lot of people using signatures, especially Macheeete with the Ogrim there, because if you miss, you are so exposed, and this is true even for Greatsword, and you saw there how easy it was for Macheeete to punish Pavelski, but now in this game 5, Pavelski is going to switch to his pick, his bread and butter, the one that we all know and love, and he is going to switch to the Val, and what can be a top 8 decider.
Absolutely. I think you put it very well. This could be the top 8 decider, going over for that Val switch up as well. It's already starting to do some pretty huge things offstage. Macheeete, though, just denying all of their options. Goes for the ground pound too. There's so much back and forth happening. I barely know who's in an advantage state and who isn't. D-Line there coming out from Macheeete. Has that little bit of a damage lead so far. Now looking to get that KO. Just trying to deny Pavelski that weapon. Getting a lance now. Gets the dare. Tries to follow up with an Enisig. Good recovery coming out from Pavelski. Oh boy. This is very, very tight so far. Macheeete is doing amazing. Pavelski is going to have to try and bounce back from this.
Yeah, I mean, Pavelski is going for a lot of these options. He's going for the greedier option, and every single time Macheeete is ready to punish him at a moment's notice. And so I think even with having a character like Val, you gotta be able to respect that potential, because almost every single time he's gone for that, he's been punished for it. It happened last game, it happened the game before that, and it even happened here, where, Pavelski was nearly taken out because he was going for these aggressive options, and Macheeete is not, he's frantically trying to do something. And if you're playing Gauntlets, I feel like a lot of the time, the pressure is on you to be able to make something happen. So he's going to switch over to the sword, maybe try to get some safe combos there, but things are looking very, very good for Macheeete.
Absolutely, they will be going down to that Val Enisig, and yeah, absolutely. This might look like a pretty rough situation for Pavelski to be in, but one of the things that definitely I know Pavelski for is just popping off. I mean, there's no better way to put it. Pavelski is able to just have really clutch moments where they do something unexpected and they're able to find a KO early. That might be something that Pavelski needs to be able to get this win, since Macheeete has been beating him out on that consistent neutral. There it is again. The Sir Roland sword Enisig to take down the stock, and Macheeete has a very comfortable lead. All of that's into the way from Macheeete, and top 8 is a single stock, but that stock belongs to Pavelski. You're gonna have a difficult time.
Yeah, this is tournament stock here for Pavelski. He's really got to try and rein it back in. I mean, these options he's going for are very respectable, but it's leaving him very much exposed. and now Pavelski gonna try and get a stock off the top of the screen. Goes for the nair there. It's not going to connect, but Pavelski is doing a good job of avoiding a lot of damage being taken, and that is it. He brings Macheeete down to his last stock. This is it. The person that gets the next stock will advance to top 8, and again, these players have been at the top of EU for quite a while now, and so one of these titans are gonna have to fall, but they're definitely gonna do everything in their power to make sure that they secure their spot in top 8.
Oh my lord, yeah. And one of the things that I think definitely set the, we can kind of expect the intent coming out from Pavelski, sticking to these gauntlets. They were going for something huge. They wanted something like that, and now they're swapping over to that sword to get themselves the KO confirm. Macheeete also on the sword. Both of these players incredibly close to their last death for the entire tournament, going for that end sig. Macheeete not able to find the Sayer punish, trying to get back up now. Finally does so. Both players trying to look for any type of D-like combos. Macheeete gonna be swapping over to the lance, getting a good couple of hits. That's evening out the damage. Could be seeing a KO coming out, and there it is, the sideline Sayer. Macheeete in a 3-2 set is taking down Pavelski and advancing to top 8.
Yeah, Macheeete doing work here in the last few games. It looks like the King Knight was what he needed to truly push it forward and kind of get the edge in those games, and he was doing a very, very good job of controlling Pavelski and knowing what he wanted to do and kind of just stopping it. And Pavelski, very, very returnable, did a very good job, but he was just going for some really aggressive options, and I think Macheeete did a good job of recognizing that and basically putting Pavelski in his place.